Okay. Recording what now? All right, Tyler, look at I'm the guy.
You're the guy that wears the shirt to interview the band.
No, it's a sweat.
It's just you hate to see it, right? Like I'm embarrassed. I mean, what more can I say, Jordan? This is who I is every day.
Well, it's better than what you're wearing into the show, I guess, right? People
Marginally
for that too.
Yeah. No, I had to. We're here with Jordan.
I think it's cool. Cool sweater.
Yeah, we're here
cool.
with Texas King, who I'll tell you how I figure. I'm just fixing something here. I think we should be good now. All right.
I guess it's better than wearing the sweatshirt for your high school basketball team that refuses to answer any of your emails. You can't even. I can't even be a respected alumni there anymore.
Yeah. I just pretend I went to schools I didn't go to.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a fan of the band Big Wreck. Tyler, you don't know them.
I've heard a couple of their songs. You played a couple for me.
I love them. So we went down. My wife and I went to the show in Philly, and we're there. And I bumped into you. We literally bumped into you, and you were so nice to us. And my wife's like, "They're really nice." And then you played, and we're like, "Holy shit, these guys they're great." So that's why I came home with the shirt. And ever since then, it's just weird to think about how you find music, because without that, I never would have ever, I'm not sure how long it would have taken to find you guys this early on in your career. And now I'm banging your new CD like all the time. So
yeah, man, I'm at the back of the club.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign when he remembers you, George.
In front of you guys.
Yeah, it's a crazy show. Like that was a couple shows before. Like I know you like broke your guitar on stage. Like you guys had a crazy tour. So yeah, that's how I just want to tell that story to kind of get us to where we're at. And I want to ask you, how has your last month been, not being able to tour and not being able to do all that stuff?
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. Like, it's been a huge change for me. I'm always gigging, like, either it's acoustic gigs at bars and stuff, or with the band, we play a lot of shows too. So it's definitely taken a little bit of time to adjust to that. I've still been doing live like Instagram live shows a couple times a week, and just like trying to stay interactive with the fans that are on there. And so that's been going well. I started doing a little series too, where I chat with some of my other homies from other bands and do that on the live once a week. Hopefully, it's kind of taken a while to get off the ground, but I've been doing that to keep myself busy, and messing around here, demoing out new tunes that I've been writing and stuff all the time.
Yeah. Is that something, I do comedy, so everything I write is on my own, right? Yeah. But for a band, I know I have some friends in bands. They can't really, it's hard for them to write without the bandmates, right, around. Do you find it harder, or can you write on your own?
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question, man. I realize that now that I'm here that I had started to lean on, it's way easier. Like, I have this idea on an acoustic, and then they're like, "Oh, like, I'll play this," and he's like, "Oh, I'll play that," and the bass player's like, "I'll play that," and it's like, perfect. Do that. But so I'm sitting here trying to like type in the drums on my keyboard and like play bass on the keyboard, and like I don't have an electric guitar out here, so I'm like just playing everything on acoustic. And
right.
It's
like you guys are. I said why it would take long to find you, because you're based in Canada. You're based out of London, Ontario, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so how did you get started in everything? I don't know much about your story. Like, I'm still just but you go.
I'll tell you. So I was a solo artist, like out of high school. I just like started playing songs on my own, writing tunes, playing them at coffee houses and stuff. I went to college, and that's where I met Phil, the bass player, and Colin, the guitarist. And we had a different drummer at the time. But anyway, we started there at Fanshawe College in London in the music industry arts program, and we just like started gigging as much as we could in Southern Ontario. And then as soon as we graduated, we just like jumped in the van and started touring nonstop. That's basically the Coles notes of the story. We went through 2 drummers, 2 Robs, and now we have Melvin, our current drummer. So
the drummers.
Yeah, drummers that kept quitting.
Quitting.
And so you're back in Canada now, and that's kind of where you're chilling till this is all over?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver with my lady and her dogs, and we're just hunkering down and staying in. You know, we go to the grocery store maybe once every 1.5 weeks. Try to get as much as we can. It's tough, man. I've never spent so much on groceries as I've been. When I go, it's like, oh, I may as well get it all here, and then it's like, wow, like I've never even seen that.
Well, I'm grabbing stuff too. I'm like, I don't know if I need this, but like I might as well have it. It's like extra.
It's like, oh, I should get some more sugar.
Right. Yeah. Are the restrictions the same in Vancouver as, I know you're not in the States right now, but we're all kind of locked down, I guess, across the world. Is that kind of what's going on where you are too?
Yeah, it's pretty locked down. I mean, we have dogs, so we go out to walk them, take them to the park. But like, yeah, we're not near anybody. No one's near anybody. There's like 2 dog parks that they had to reopen because people were complaining so much, I guess. So everyone stands like 10 feet apart when they go to the dog park, and it's like not for very long. It's weird. Like, it's really shut down out here in Vancouver. Like, apparently it's like they're getting close to flattening the curve or something.
Oh, cool. Good.
I hope so.
I have a question. What does a touring musician do in their downtime? Like, because in my mind, you're this rock and roll star on the road playing all these gigs. How can you adapt to being stuck in your house? I'm sure it's fine, but like, what do you do for activities when you're not like rocking a crowd? Like, what does a rock star do? Like, just to chill.
That's funny, man. Yeah. Honestly, man, like it's like usually like when we're not locked down, like we always have shit to do. So we're always like going to the jam space. We're always like doing something. And I feel guilty when I sit down and like play video games for a sec. But like now there's no guilt. It's like I can run a whole season with the Raptors. Yeah. Sorry to bring it up. On 2K, or like we've been playing Fortnite and Call of Duty.
I wish I could the Sixers lose to the Raptors right now.
The Sixers hat on right there. That's how I feel too. Like once I found out that you can't do stand-up shows anymore, I like felt great because I'm like, I'm not missing anything. I'm not working hard enough. There's no work to do, right? So
yeah, it's sort of like a nice break that we're forced into taking.
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer this, but what is it about Canadian rock that I love so much? I don't get it. It's weird. Like big. It's just it's infectious stuff, and I love like I'm learning so many new bands through you guys, and I don't know, what is it? What's in the water up there?
I don't know, man. Like we have fluoride in our water. Is there fluoride in your water?
I think so.
No, man, I don't know. There's a lot of great Canadian bands. Like there's just a lot of great music. Like you look at Toronto alone. You look at like all the cities have something coming out of it pretty much. Like you got a Montreal band, Half Moon Run, Kingston, Ontario, Glorious Sons. Have you heard of those guys?
And to see a bit like, cause we're near Philadelphia, so like there's bands and stuff, but it doesn't feel like, when I think of Canadian rock, like it's big guitars and good songwriting, and it's just awesome that there's so many bands in that area.
What's the difference between Canadian rock and like American rock? Would I, like an untrained ear, be able to tell the difference?
I wonder. I wonder the same about myself. I want, like, but you hear a band and you're like, oh man, like we played with this one 3-piece band in Boston when we were on that same run. Mm-hmm. And it's just this little kid, like he must have been 19, like fresh out of or 21, whatever the drinking age is, right? Like he was just like it looked like he was having his first pint. And he gets up on the stage and he's like this like howling wolf. I was like, man, what this is like a US like sound.
Yeah. Right.
This is US rock and roll.
Who are some of your like inspirations? Where do you guys kind of get your sound, like try to mold your, everybody wants to be, they're all their own, right? But what are some of your influences?
I mean, we all grew up listening to very, very different stuff. So influence-wise, that's like a question.
That's good sometimes too, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, Colin, our guitarist, I don't know. It's hard to put a pin on each member's styles with one band, so I don't try. But like, I grew up listening to like other Canadian bands a lot too. Like Our Lady Peace was a band I listened to coming up. But yeah, just like alternative rock. I listen to Kings of Leon a lot.
Mhm.
Of course, there's like some influence there. And then newer stuff as it comes out. Like it's funny, I kind of listen to more like sometimes like catchier pop stuff or like R&B stuff on my spare time too. So it's like it's weird. It's like I don't know why that's how I write when I write, but
Yeah.
it's not really like R&B or pop.
It's great.
And you've been opening up for when George saw you, it was for Big Rec, right? What's that experience like on the road as an opening band, touring the country? How did your experience go with that?
Man, it was great. Like I think we got really lucky. I'm not sure if it goes that well for a lot of bands, the first big tour they go on, but the Big Rec, the band and the crew were all so great with us. They treated us like friends from the very first night till the end. Still stay in touch. Like Ian took me under his wing as like a little brother kind of, and we just like we would chill a little bit, but also like he would give me tips and like show me this really cool like warm up technique that he does, and it's just stuff you take with you forever. And
Yeah.
you know, like yeah, it was just like I think we got lucky, as like I said. But
Do any cities stick out that was like really fun?
yeah, Nashville was really fun. St. Louis was really fun. We went bowling with Big Rec that night. It was the first time we really like hung out and had some beers and stuff. Seattle was cool because of the history in the place over at the Crocodile there where we played, I believe it was called. And like Ian was telling me some stories from previous tours there and stuff. And I was just like, oh man, that makes it even cooler to be in here. He was like telling us stories about, he was like, oh man, that green room that you have used to be our green room when we were opening for so-and-so. And like, there's stories in that green room, like, man, we like did so many shots or whatever it was back in the day, right? And it's like, oh, now that's like the room, that's the green room I'm in. I'm like, makes you want to restring your guitar, you know?
Yeah. Yep. What kind of acoustic guitar do you have?
I play a Gibson J15 back in Ontario. That's like what I own. I'm playing this Taylor 314 Concert Edition.
This is where Martins are made. Where Lehigh Valley Martin guitars are. Have you ever heard of Martin guitars?
In Philly, yeah, I've heard of Martins.
Yeah. Well, actually, this place right here. They don't let me in the factory either. But yeah, so that's kind of like our claim to fame is Martin guitars.
Nice.
What were you saying, George?
No, I was just going to say when we were talking earlier about finding new bands, it's just cool that with Spotify, obviously you want to buy, the physical media from whatever band, but having Spotify too, because you fire you up and then like you said, you're finding all these different bands through it. And it's just a lot. I never would have found bands that, it's cool that we're here talking to you today, partially because of that, just happiness and liking good music and just rocking out to it. I'll tell you what, I've been listening to it, honestly, you along with a lot of other music, and it's been helpful some days because it's crazy.
Yeah, man, this has been really crazy for sure.
How do you see music heading in a way that things like Spotify kind of are going to be more like a musician's tool, and like because you always want them to buy the album, but I can speak in comedy, like, and it seems to go in music that musicians are going to make their money on the road, where it used to be they make it through CD sales, right? And now it's kind of like flipped itself on its head, where you want to get the content out so you can get people to your live show. Is that what is that the model that is kind of making sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, then that way you get both, because then you still have CDs at the table or vinyls or whatever, and then they hear it, you get money from them streaming it or whatever. And then, I mean, there's some bands that like live off that streaming.
Yeah.
Like streams. There's bands who figured out how to really hook their audience in on those platforms that are doing well because of it.
Yeah.
You released a single not too long ago. What are the plans now? Do you have a record planned to come out? I know this has probably thrown everything, up, but.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of songs demoed out. We have like 17 or 18 songs demoed. And then I've probably written another 10 since those demos. Then there's all the sound check, voice notes and stuff from the tours that we have to still sift through, and some of those are going to be really good tunes. I know it. So yeah, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that we have this extra time, because we've been doing Zoom calls like this over the phone and sifting through some of those untouched areas yet, and it's been really helpful to like still stay moving even though we're apart and like we can't even jam or like get together, you know.
Sure.
Is that in terms of creating new stuff or honing in on old stuff or picking through the options? How every song, I'm sure, is a different animal, right? Like how you've created it, how long it took to write it, the process. Like, can you speak, like, what do some songs get written fast? Like, are you just like, oh, this just works right away? And do some songs take like 2 years to kind of figure it out?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, like I'm sure it must be kind of the same with jokes and comedy, and like I'm sure you try stuff out, and then if you don't get the reaction you want, maybe you'll like wait a bit or like tailor it up more. Like that's the same with music. Like I see in the guys' faces when you play them something, if it's gonna be like something we work on like right away, like before the first course is done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes like it's like, yeah, that's a cool idea, like let's back burner or something, and then we get back to it later, and it's got like a new freshness to it, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever been surprised, like you had a song on the set list and you start playing it? Not that you had low expectations, but have you ever been like, holy shit, these people are like really digging this, right? Like, have you ever been shocked like that?
Yeah, I'd say our tune Flowers was a shock like that for all of us, because it's kind of a slow tune that again I wrote on the acoustic, and I was like, okay, we'll just try it out like with the band. Like I'll play really light on the guitar and just like try to make a moment in the set where we come down and kind of relate or whatever. Like chicks will love it. Trust me, let's go. But then like we were playing, like there was like no chicks. We were like, oh, like we're just playing to a bunch of bros in a basement, like in Sudbury, Ontario. It's just like it's a real peach of a town. But yeah, it was so funny. Like all these dudes are like hammered, drunk, topless in this basement, sweating, drinking PBR, and just like screaming the words to this song "Flowers." That's like a really delicate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, that stuff shocks us. Like I am shocked every day that people love that song so much. Because
well, here, I'll leave you with this, because it's something that I thought was funny when I'm a member. Like there's a big rec Facebook group, so I'll check in when they're doing their tours. And people started talking about you, you know, because they saw you play and, oh, that band's great, you know, talking about it. And there was this one woman, she had a complaint. And it's like, why are all their songs about drinking? And then I thought about it. I'm like, that's right. I love it. Like, it's laid back, fun stuff. But it was just funny. Like, that was the one lady's complaint about it. And
Thanks for bringing up the complaint, George.
I never read that one.
It's like, yeah. She's like, all his songs are about drinking. And I'm like, yeah, it's about having a good time. I think that's why, you know, I'm not saying I only listen to music that has drinking in it, but it's just a fun time. It's good music. I love it. And I just want to say, you know, thank you for our paths crossing in a way.
Yeah, man. No, like, thank you. Thanks for getting back to us.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, we're in the Philadelphia area, so
hopefully you get to play down here soon. You know, whenever you want to come to Bethlehem, let us know. We'll set it up.
Okay, man. Okay.
And how can people? Obviously, George has the website and the links. How can people follow the band and you?
You can follow us on Instagram at Texas King Band, and there's a website, texasking.ca. And yeah, on Facebook, if you just type in Texas King, same on YouTube, you'll find us. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you find it will be there. So yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes out of your day. We really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Stay safe.
Have a good day.
Yeah. See ya.